Hey there and welcome. Thanks for joining my first live YouTube. Thought I'd I kind of do intuitive art journaling pages here lately, and I thought that's what I would show you all today. And if you want to join in or you have any questions, um, hi Erica. Thank you. I was going to show you guys. So I made this art journal, and I bound it with I think it's called the buttonhole stitch. I've been going through all my pads of paper on my shelves, and I tore them all up and made them into journals. So I made a whole bunch of journals. So I have this one, and then there is this one as well. This one's got the kettle stitch. This one I've been using for more like abstract pieces right now. So I sometimes can't decide what kind of art I want to create. So I made a whole bunch of journals, and I'm going to do each kind of art in each one. So I'll do some abstracts, some florals, really bright pieces, more muted, and then just on like that. And I'll do some junk journaling. Here's one of my junk journals I made a long time ago, not that long ago, I guess a couple years ago, at Jean Oliver's studio, and it was a lot of fun. We hand carved some stamps and put like papers. I still have to glue some stuff in here. So here's a stamp I hand carved. I was doing a lot of portraiture then. I still do some now, and when I went around and I asked everybody to stamp in my book. Here's her name was Jenny. She did that one, and then some more Sherry. Let's see here. Here's another one I did. I was loving everybody else's floral ones, so did all that. See here. Oh, here's one of the portraits I drew. Made a copy and put it in here. Let's see here. Oh, another portrait stamp I did. Let's see. I did that one later after the workshop. Some more that I collected from some of the participants at the workshop. Here's one from Julie Johnson. She's on Instagram. She's a portrait painter. I think she does a lot of oil. I don't think it's acrylic. I think it's oil she does. But she's a teacher on Jean Oliver's network as well. And then in the very back here, I still need to put more in here. Here's a portrait I did, and I made a copy and put that in there. And then we just did some color swatches of colors we really were liking at the time on the library card, which I love that idea. And then we named the colors what we wanted to, which was fun, kind of what they make us think of. So just some fun things you can do with your journals. Let's see, so this one is the one I'll use today, because I was feeling like doing another floral, and this came in like the mail in some package I got, and I just cut out this part, and then you can sew it together. It was a pretty easy stitch to sew. So yeah, so I was thinking of doing something probably in this color scheme. I busted out a whole bunch of pinks. I thought that would be fun to do right now. So, and then here's one I did rainbows. I made some little rainbow stamps, and I hand carved those. And I used this one. I used Distress ink in antique linen, and then I just watercolored on there. And then this one, I was using a lot of watercolor and some of Jane Davenport's mermaid markers. I did a little bit there. Let's see here. Here I did a little more with the mermaid markers and a lot of watercolor. So that's what we'll do today. I may use the mermaid markers, I may not. So I just start out, sometimes throw some gesso on the page. It adds some cool texture. And then I just start putting my watercolor colors on. And I try to keep some, you'll notice some white space. Don't fill the page a ton. And you can keep in mind some composition things like the L composition, the S composition, a U, a circle, if you kind of want a guideline, or you can pull up some art you like and look at the way that it's designed and kind of get an idea. There's also the cruciforms, very popular. So I usually don't have something totally in mind when I begin, but then I start to create a focal area. That's how I've been doing this. Now if I was doing a painting, that's different. This is just intuitive, fun play, very relaxed, not stressful at all, so I like it a lot. And it's fast. You know, I can do a page like this in 20 minutes, maybe 30, just depends. And real pretty colors here if you want to know. This one's, that light pink is shell pink. And then we have the darker pink is rhodonite genuine. Those are both very pretty colors. And I like to just splash a lot, and then I'll let it dry a bit, and then I like to splash some more water in there. Right now, I don't know if you guys want to hear about color theory or not. You're safe when you're using colors. They won't turn to mud if they're right next to each other on the color wheel. So just think of the rainbow, red and orange, or right next to each other, yellow. All those colors are going to be okay together. Red and purple would be okay together too. It's when you start to get, and red and blue would be okay. When you get the complementary colors, red and green, Christmas. I'm in Colorado, so blue and orange, Broncos, and then yellow and purple. Those are complementary. Those will make mud. So I do want to throw some green on here. I'm not going to do it right now, but I will throw some blue on. And that is safe. So I would dry this, or I can carefully add the green. Like I can add the green where the blue is, and I can touch a little bit where the pink is. Like I'm okay with some neutral, and what it'll do, sometimes it'll dull down. If you're careful, it will just dull down your bright color, like that pink. It could dull it down too if you don't over mix it. So you just be careful. And then let's see. Okay, so I'm kind of doing an upside down L sort of right now, is where this is going. And then you see that texture in there, that's because of the gesso. And with the gesso, you'll be able to pick up the color a little better than if there was no gesso on there. So you can go like that, and you can bring some variation into your piece instead of having it all the same value. Looks nice. You want some dark parts and some light parts. And you may want a focal area right around rule of thirds or so, where it feels the best, somewhere in there or something. Okay. And then I love water media, so that's what I use mostly. And you can see here. While it's wet, you can go in with like pencils. I have been using this for years and I love it. It's a sketch and wash, and so when it's wet, it really goes in a lot bolder, and you can go ahead and make marks with it and then come back and you can blend it. You can get rid of it a little bit. You can keep it, you can make it darker. So when you do this, it'll lift it up a bit because we have that gesso. If you don't like a mark, or we'll dry, and I'll show you this too. You can go darker. Let's see here. Are you guys art journaling a lot now that you're home, or are you finding fun things? What kind of fun things are you finding to do without really going anywhere? It was a nice day here today, so we were out on the deck a lot and reading and playing with our dogs, which is nice. Let's see. So I also like to spray. I like real organic shapes and not, you know, like square or right now. So I like the spray, and I like to kind of let it do its own thing because then it just looks more organic. So I have put some liquid watercolors into bottles. This one's a green. So I can just spritz it out there a little bit. You get different effects that way. Let's see, I also like to then, when it's just a little bit wet, come back and spritz some water on, and you can get some cool textures that way. I have this plant mister, and I like it because, did you see how that mist was very fine and even? This one I can get little blobs of spray, and it adds a different texture. So I really like that quite a bit. And yeah, it's fun, huh? I like to spritz with the water. It's almost like salt in a way, so you start to get the variation there. So, but you have to time it right with that, so it starts to dry and then you do it. If you do it when it's wet, it really doesn't do much at all. You can also, while it's wet, scratch in, and you get a different kind of texture happening, and you can move some of that around. So those things are all really fun and keeps the shapes organic, which again, that's what I'm into right now. So, and then when it's wet or kind of drying, like say I don't like that's a hard edge right there. So like these are soft edges here, how they kind of they blend together. And then you have your hard edges here where they're not really blending or fading out. And I like a mix of those, but there might be a place where there's a hard edge and you don't want it to be. So you just wet it. You can soften that a bit. And if you catch it when it's wetter, it's better because you can move it more. But we can go over with some white gesso if we don't like a part, or have a little stash of our fun papers that we can use matte medium. I've really been liking putting tea bags on over the art. So I did that on a piece. I'll show you that. It's fun. I did that on this one, which I feel like I overworked this one a bit, but you know, that's what you experiment, you learn. Right here you can see the tea bag there, and I like it. It absorbs the watercolor a little differently, adds cool texture, so that's fun. Let's see here. So now I might start to define something and bring something out, or look and see if I see something in there. Like I might start to see some flower shapes or something I like, and then I would start to define that. Thanks, Erica. So I do like these colors together. I did test them before I came on, and I was using some red as well. That's a lot bolder. I kind of like this, so maybe I'll put a little bit of the red in. But and a trick with the red is if you want a more vibrant red, mix it with opera pink, and it's much more vibrant. That way it doesn't lose its luster. And then I use like a smaller brush, and we get the nice fine mist there. You can put little, I hesitate to start doing this. This is when I start to get less organic shapes. So I'm gonna be careful. It's like I'm trying to make something happen, so I'm gonna be careful with that. Then get some water and push that around a little bit so it's not so formulated, I guess you'd call it. I don't know. Let's see here. Maybe this is better. Bigger brush is better. Stays looser. I'm just tying the whole piece together by keeping it cohesive and putting a little bit of the color at least everywhere. Oh, and this blue is really pretty. It granulates really nicely. It's Lunar Blue by Daniel Smith. And this almost starting to look like a leaf shape, which is really cool. All right, and now at this point, I'm thinking I'll dry this. Just kind of see where it's at. So this will be a little bit loud. It's not too bad. This is actually a nice dryer. It's a Ranger Heat It craft tool. I don't know, it's not that loud where I am, but I don't know how it sounds on the camera. It might be. It's much quieter than like a blow dryer. And I ordered some of the distressed spray inks because, again, I like spraying stuff, and I really like their ink pads. They have nice colors, so I'm kind of excited. I got a lot of muted colors in that, so they'll be pretty for like, for like backgrounds to kind of neutralize things, and then you can throw some bright colors on there. That's what I was thinking. So that part's still a little wet, but not too bad. Let's see here. So now I would go in with like my white pen or maybe a fountain pen. I like to do, I didn't know it had a name. I've been doing this for a long time. I think I've been doing this since, what's that book called? You know, when you do the art journal pages, the morning pages. And, the Artist's Way. So you do the morning pages and you do that stream of consciousness writing. And I've been doing that for a long time. But when I would do it, I would write it kind of sloppy. I didn't really want anybody to read my thoughts or anything. I've always been kind of funny about that. But, and I don't know why. I'm just kind of private. It's not like I'm writing anything exciting. But I would do that, so I'd write it illegibly. Well, Dina Wakely was on doing her daily demos, and she started talking about asemic writing. And she's explaining exactly what I've been doing. And I was like, that's so cool. I didn't know it had a name. I knew it was like stream of consciousness writing, but the fact that I was making it pretty illegible, I didn't realize that was a thing. So I did it here. So if I go back to read this, I really don't know what it says. I might kind of remember, but I can't really read it. But I think it's pretty. And she does too. So that's why she puts it in her artwork. But I thought that was really cool. So on this one, like if I wanted to write over here, which I probably won't because I don't really want the focal point to be there. I want it to be more over here. So in composition, you kind of want to point things to your focal point too. So I may use the white pen. I may darken this a little bit just so the white pen shows up, and I may write over here or up here. And I may define a couple things. So you can see here how I started to bring the flowers up by putting dark things back here. So that's negative painting, where you're painting the negative space. So what I do is I may start to kind of see a shape. Like, see how I see this leaf shape a little bit? So we could bring that out by going just a little bit darker there. back behind it. And then leaving it light there. And that's going to bring that shape out, which is fun. And then just blending this to that soft edge. And this will be the hard edge right next to where that subtle leaf shape is going to be. That's fun. And these colors play real nice together, layering them. That's going to make pretty things happen there too. So there we go. Welcome everyone. I see we have a few people here at the art party. Are you guys painting too? Or just getting some ideas? Let's see, if you want, put your names on, like if you're on Instagram or anything, we can follow each other and people can check out your work. Feel free to drop your information on there. And then, let's see, so I kind of feel like this is a very focal area right now. So I think I want to kind of bring out this shape again. Same thing, I want some of these lighter shapes. It'd be fun. So I'm going to go dark over here and let this be another pretty shape, kind of like a leaf as well, but you know, not exactly. Just hinting at it. There we go. And we'll find some more of those type shapes. And I want them to go in different directions and not be uniform. Not all be the same size either, or exact same shape. So, let's see here. Been studying composition a little more so that my pages will come out a little more consistently in a way that I like them. Knowledge is power. You don't have to follow the rules, but if you know them, it's helpful. And I kind of want to show you something that might help you. Let's see here. I have a sheet, and you can look this up online. And just, it's free. You print them out. So if you look up forms of composition, then it'll show you what I was talking about, like triangles, cruciform, radiating, the L shape, and then it shows you examples of them, and you can look at abstract art and see that they're using these things. It's just good to know. It's helpful. And then you could see like dividing up space. You know, this is much more dynamic and interesting than maybe something like that. It's interesting, and that helps you lay out your pages. Okay, so let's see here. I think this is, and then to keep this cohesive still, you know, I don't want a whole bunch of, like a block of blue, so I'm going to add a little pink over there. And some of this will become intuitive, and if it's not, then you know why. You know the why of doing it, and it becomes intuitive. So if you start thinking of it consciously, it will become subconscious. But I think we do this naturally in a way sometimes anyway. Let's see. And it'd be nice to have like a little leaf shape over there. Maybe what I'll do is I'll bring in some line work here. Just see. And these ink tints, they will dissolve a bit in the water. They're water soluble. And maybe some white And I like this because if you hate it, you when it's wet, you can just wipe it off. This is that Signo ball. Only white pen I really like. I don't know if you guys have one you like. I'd love it if you commented below. I have a hard time finding ones that are pretty opaque and still have that organic feel to them. Let's see. I'm kind of writing about community and helping others grow, sharing. And there, that was stream of consciousness and just scribbling it out. But, being here together, creating art, it just kind of reminds me of that. And it's happy and it's fun and it's nice and bringing more beauty into the world. It's all very good. Okay. This one, I don't know, later I've been printing up some quotes or words in like the type font and typewriter font. And then I've also thought about stamping on here, but again, that's not very organic feeling, so I don't know if I'll add it, but at least it's on another piece of paper so I can hold it up and see if I like it. I don't know, I may add something like that to my pages. Right now I'm really just experimenting a ton and, finding my way through it, having a nice time with it.
Hi.
Let's see.
Sorry about that. Just it had a poor connection.
Let's see here.
Put it on back.
Oh, today it was fun. Our neighbor got the cutest little Irish setter puppy. His name is Archie. And he's only 9 weeks old. Super cute. Super cute. And we saw him over the fence. We said hi. Staying, 6 feet away. But it's so weird. So weird right now, like going to the grocery store and stuff. But, it's okay. I know hopefully it'll be all resolved soon. Kind of like staying home and not going to the store because it feels more normal. When I go to the store, you realize how different things are right now, and I'm just kind of not loving that vibe out there, and just hoping everybody's safe and healthy. And okay, let's see. And then these mermaid markers are cool because they're dark, they're ink. So, like watercolor, I don't know, some people can get it to go really dark. I struggle with that. Yeah, right? I know. See, you don't want to be out there. It's like they have lines on the floor and then they've got the shields up for the cashiers and you can't put your stuff on the counter with somebody else's and everybody walks far away from each other. It's very weird. Very weird. Very weird. But hopefully, I'm hoping the warm weather gets rid of the whole thing. We'll see. Yeah, ever since that like stay-at-home order, it's just gotten weirder out there, I think, with all the rules and then some people were saying they really want you to wear masks now. So I don't know. It's kind of different. So just hinting, and I would probably, again, like with composition, odd numbers are a little more desirable. So I try to find, those really stuck out as flowers. So now I'll try to find maybe like one more, maybe right here. Maybe this one's on its side a bit, and I'll bring that one out a little more. There we go. There we go. And we can use some of that to, I don't want to totally, like I feel like this one I started to pop the flower out almost too much. Like I like how it kind of fades and it's sort of there on these two. It hints, so I'm going to try to keep that going here. So I learn from every page. Go. And let's see. Oh no, I don't want to overwork it again, so I'm kind of getting to the part where I think I'm gonna stop soon. I would like a little touch more contrast in there, a couple different values, so I think, let's try this. I'll load up my brush really good with some painting. Maybe do a little flicking of the blue. Great thing about videoing is you can look at it and be like, oh, I should have stopped there. And then you learn from that too. Anybody else do that? Let's see. Just want to break this up a little bit. It's very pink right there. Okay. Well, that was fun. I really enjoyed making this. Anybody have any questions, or? Like I said, if you want to put your link below, if you're on Instagram, we can check out your art journal pages too. See, or if you have any suggestions, what you'd like to see me paint again live, I might go again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and then Tuesday I am getting some more art journaling supplies. I got the Dina Wakley Blue Journal, and like I said, some of those distress spray inks, and I'm pretty sure I ordered some of her gloss sprays, just 2 of them. And so I will go live, depending what time they come. If they come early on Tuesday, I may go live on Tuesday, but definitely Wednesday, and we'll try those out. And I'll demo this kind of art in there. So that'll be fun. I can't stop. I just want to add a little more white, so I'm going to dry this, add a little more white, and I think I'm going to call this one done. Oh, thank you, Mava. I'm glad you could be here. Are you have an account on Instagram? We can look for you and check out your pages, or are you anywhere on? We can see your beautiful art. Let's see here. And then this is the fountain pen. This has an extra fine nib. I think it came with, I don't know if it came with medium or fine. I feel like one of mine came with medium. It was a little bit too thick. I like the extra fine. And I do dry before I use this, otherwise it does spread a bit. And so I'm gonna go over this. I like to layer that writing sometimes too, so we'll try it. So I love fountain pens. Do you guys have fountain pens? I'm kind of, I mostly use this one, and I have another one, but it leaked. So I was looking at some others, but really like this one. The only thing, I was watching another YouTuber, and he has one, it has a soft nib, so it's really cool because it will do more line variation. I'm kind of interested in that. So if I purchase one, I can't remember what it was called right now, but if I get that, I'll demo it. But it looks cool. So just gonna add a touch of white, and I think this will be done. But remember, I'm always afraid to go too dark. So if you remembered, if you want to create the illusion of light in your art, you have to have dark parts. So the darker and bolder you can go in value, and the more values you have, the more you can create that kind of magic if you want to do that. So it doesn't have to be a ton of dark, but you do want to have some places that are dark. Okay, so let's see. Oh, where do you get your art? Oh, so Mava. I was showing everybody, if you go back to the beginning of the video, you can see more about it too. This will post after I'm done, but I did make this. So I was kind of in that decluttering mode since we have so much time right now. And I had a shelf of just a bunch of watercolor pads, and I have since graduated to buying full sheets and tearing them up and using those. So I was kind of ignoring the pads of watercolor paper, and it was taking up a whole shelf, and I was like, man, I could use this for like something else, you know? And so I took those out and I tore the pages all out, and I started folding them up to sizes I liked. And I bound some art journals together. So I have 10 of them or something right now. And so here's one. And my watercolor paper sticks. It's all 140 pounds. So each signature just has 2 sheets together, so it makes 4 pages or 8 front and back. And I stacked them, you know, and I did the kettle stitch on this one. And then this one, I believe it's called a button stitch, and it's neat. I used, you can use whatever you want for the cover. This is just some corrugated cardboard. And I'll maybe paint this or do something fun with that. Maybe I'll come on live and do something with the cover eventually. But I cut this out here. That's part of what the stitch is. And then you sew your signatures in that way. And it was really easy and fast to do. It was fun. So Peg and All, PEG and AWL, have been doing some really cool bookbinding tutorials right now too for free. So if you follow them on Instagram, I bought a beautiful leather journal from them too that I'll do a video about sometime too. It's awesome, but yeah, so there's those, and then there's some bookbinding tutorials, of course, on YouTube, but they're the ones that kind of got me going on some. They did a beautiful one. I don't have one down here right now, but it has some canvas. I made a whole bunch of them. Maybe if I go on live tomorrow morning, or when I come on Tuesday or Wednesday, I will show you guys that if you're interested. But I'll bring more of the journals out. But anyway, yeah, so that way you can use the paper you like, because that's one thing I've noticed. Like, I really like Arches or Fabriano, and they don't really make too many books of that, or if they do, they're kind of expensive. And this way, it's nice. You can make it the size you want. You could put a mix of papers in. I also showed the junk journal, so you can throw all kinds of papers in here. And this one, you didn't even sew. This one, you took all your signatures and you glued them together. Well, you glued them to here, which you can see it's not holding up very well. But you can buy packing tape or duct tape and tape them in too. A lot of people do both, so they'll put they glue and then they tape. So those are cool too. And it's just some canvas. It's pretty. I made that in a Jean Oliver workshop. So yeah, the book. Yeah, that's the thing about all these stitches. It goes totally flat. So the kettle stitch, and then I think it's a French linen stitch is the one Paganol taught. It goes flat too. So it's very, very nice for journaling. So lots of fun, and they're not too hard. So and then let's see. So I know Erica. She's Flux Imagery here. She's on Instagram. And she paints the cutest like cupcakes and mermaids, and she used to do a lot of birds and all kinds of pretty fun things. And she has a really pretty planner out now too. And then Mava will look for you. Okay. Oh, so you're not posting your art yet. Okay. Well, if you post anything, you can feel free to tag me so I can see if you try this and you like it and you want to post it. And I thank you all so much for being here. I hope you're doing well, staying healthy, having a nice time staying home, relaxing, and finding time for your art. And I'll see you again tomorrow morning if you care to join. And then I will hope to come on Tuesday or Wednesday when I get a few new supplies. So that'll be a lot of fun. So thank you so much for being here, and I wish you all a wonderful evening and rest of your weekend. Take care.